Hi everyone! I am trying out a few new products on my face today, and this includes a new drugstore Korean brand which is available at Watson's called Nakeup. They combine the two words because the focus for the company is on makeup products that give you like a radiant, natural looking glow, so it looks like no makeup. That's why naked face plus made up face to Nakeup Face. I have two of their cushion formulas which I'm testing today, one on each side of my face. On the left it is the Cover King Powder Cushion number 23 Air Cover. This is formulated for oily and combination skins. It's meant to have good coverage, cover pores, spots and fine lines, and also set to a powdery finish. Now the other one is very interesting because it's called the One Night Cushion. It comes in this pretty pink box. Yes, it's called that because apparently it is made with ingredients that are so gentle that even if you crash in bed after a late night and you forget to remove your makeup, it's not going to hurt your skin. Now this sister is not going to test those claims because I have not gone to bed a single night in my entire life with makeup on my face, and I'm not about to start. So if you ever try it out, you can let me know how it goes for you. Anyway, the point is that this is a very mild and safe formula supposedly. So it's got no parabens, it's got no talc, it's supposed to give very good coverage and help to treat and soothe red, blotchy, problematic skin because it contains tea tree leaf extract and also Centella Asiatica. I'm also going to be using Huda Beauty's Overachiever Concealer today, and I'll just show how it applies and how it wears over the day. This is meant to be the higher coverage formula that they have for oily combination skin. Covers spots, pores and fine lines. Unique formula based on cherry blossom water helps cover and tone up your skin without darkening and caking. It gives a powdery finish with invisible spots, pores and fine lines. It does have some coverage. I would call it medium rather than high coverage. Maybe not quite as much as the Hera UV Mist Cushion that I tried on last week. It smells kind of floral and like tea roses? Roses? I don't know. It smells pretty nice actually. I'm just gonna apply it so you can see the coverage, and I'll wipe it off and apply the other foundation later. Check this little spot scar here. Yep, it covered most of it. Not full coverage, but medium-high, I would say. Okay, so on the other side of my face, I will try the other cushion, which I'm very curious about. This is the One Night Cushion, and it's a formula that's supposed to be designed for sensitive skin. So it's very gentle, it's very mild, it's got no parabens in it or talc. Oh, wow, okay. It's got a bit of coverage as well. This one I think has slightly more neutral undertone. The shade is 02 Beige Nude. I'm not sure why they don't use the same numbering system, because most Korean brands will use the same, you know, like 21, 23, 25, 27, etc. And it runs across all the different formulas, whereas this one is a 02 Beige Nude. It goes on with a cooling sensation, quite fresh. I didn't find this side to be particularly matte or dry, and you can see a glow when I'm turning my face right now. And yes, I do often use fingers to tap on cushion foundations. For me, it's much easier to keep your fingers clean than reusing a puff or a brush, and you're going to be dunking back in anyway, so I don't know why there's a stigma when it comes to using hands to apply makeup. I find it much easier and cleaner most of the time anyway. It's an illusion that tools are cleaner than fingers. It's almost impossible to get them completely clean most of the time. You know what? I think I'm more impressed by the coverage on this side, which is the One Night Cushion number 02 for sensitive skin. So obviously it's more obvious that it's glowy. but it's evened out everything a lot better, I feel, and it could also be that the undertone matches my skin a little bit better. This one was just slightly too rosy, and I feel my dark circles are a little bit less visible on this side. That's just one layer. But both sides are glowing, technically. I think that maybe the shine is a bit more intense on this side of the face with the one night cushion. So far so good. I think the only place maybe where it's both of the cushions are not sitting exceedingly well are around the slightly flaky areas of my nose. So I had 2 spots, one on each side, 1 or 2 weeks ago. So it's still recovering. I'm trying not to over conceal because you know how sometimes when you're trying to hide a spot, you end up causing more spots. I'm going to try and powder minimally today so that I can touch up midday and then see how it sits after 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes I find that a little bit icky because I don't want to go in with a puff and apply fresh product on top of old product. It kind of makes me feel like I'm locking dirt and sweat and sebum into my skin, but we'll see how it goes. I almost don't need concealer, so I'm not sure how good of a test this is going to be, but I have been using the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer the past 1-2 days, and I have shades 04 Meringue and 06 Nougat. 04 Meringue is neutral and 06 Nougat is warm. It's got a golden undertone, so I use them for different things. I'm gonna go in with 06 Nougat today. I don't seem to need a whole lot of correction now after the cushions. Well, my initial thoughts on the concealer are the coverage is medium-high. It's a very easy texture to work with. It's sort of like a light cream, so it blends quite nicely on top of most foundations, and it blends quite nicely on bare skin itself. I do personally feel this works better on top of foundation than under. The coverage seems to cling better. And I have touched this up over powdered skin as well. It works okay, blends in okay. Not as well as the Hourglass Vanish Stick foundation, obviously, but it still manages to blend in without looking too cakey. It doesn't oxidize or darken. Not that I've noticed anyway. It hasn't grabbed onto powder and changed the color either. Okay, I'm gonna set my face very minimally just to see how this holds up. Using a very loose brush. This is the Wayne Goss 14. Over the places where I have some heavier concealing, I'm just going to go over with Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Touch-Up Brush. This is dry, and a little of my trusty Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Compact. This I will just tap. This is a way to get a lot of quick extra coverage and not apply full coverage foundation over your entire face. I did my brows earlier just to save time, since I'm not testing anything new on my brows. I'm going in with my Pretty Vulgar Phoenix Rising palette. Not new, but the other things I'm using today are new. Japanesque blending brush. I'm gonna use Always Rising, just this matte peach beige color. This is not actually a highlight shade for someone who's my complexion. It's more like a soft transition color. As always, I'm applying it above the socket, not only in the socket itself. I love Fierce Desire. This is probably my favorite shade in the palette. It's like a coppery rose gold shade. I'm gonna do Blowing Smoke, this dark wine red here, because I'm gonna do a wine red liner later as well. I have to be careful to blend it out properly, but it's not hard to blend. When I live swatched this on IG story a few months ago, there was like a ton of fallout, and I've realized this with a lot of the softer pressed pigments in eyeshadow palettes these days, that just because there's a lot of pigment fallout when you're swatching it on your arm does not mean you get a ton of fallout under your eyes when you're using it with a brush. Because the thing is, you're not swirling and then sweeping it on like that. So never use that as an indication of, you know, how a palette is going to perform on the eye itself. To me, swatches are for checking colors, textures, and how well a shade builds up on the skin. That's all. I'm going to use Slay, sort of a peachy beige in the inner corners. Untamable, pale champagne ivory. Just because I can. Going in again with, let me see, Blowing Smoke, the dark cherry red. I'm going to apply this under the eyes, just lightly. You don't look like someone punched you in the eye, so use a very light hand and go from outside in so the color fades, and it's more intense here and it just disappears. Laneige has these new finger graphic liners in different shades. It's already available online. I've seen it on Lazada and everything. I'm gonna try number 3, Burgundy. Look at the gorgeous color. You're supposed to stick your finger in here so it keeps your brush very stable when you're applying. Let's try it and see. It's not completely opaque, which is very common among liquid liners that are metallic. So you will probably need to go in with a second coat. I think I have to. You can leave it at 1 coat as well, and it will just be a very subtle, soft line. My Phoenix Eye mascara time. This I've featured on IG story a couple of times because I've been using this quite a lot the past few days. NARS Climax Mascara. I don't consider this a mascara that gives you instant drama, but I love how buildable it is, and I love the amount of control it gives as well. It does coat all your lashes, and it does give impact. You know, it just takes maybe like 2 or 3 more strokes than you would from a formula like Hourglass Caution. You can see between this eye and this, there is very visible impact. And you can build it up as well. Sometimes I'll pinch off the tips if they get too clumpy at the ends. I don't actually have anything new for the cheeks, and I don't want to keep using the Ambient Edit palette, so I'm going in with an old favorite today. This is Too Faced Sweetheart's Perfect Flush Blush in Peach Beach. This is a long-time favorite of mine. Because it looks like it would be nothing on the cheeks, but there is quite a lot of colour on me. It can look a little strange if you apply a matte blush over a glowy foundation. It's like here, it's glowing and then there's a stripe of matte. Choose your blushes carefully, depending on what sort of a finish your skin has as well. I'm just gonna go back to the Huda Face Designing highlight. This is a Waver Luxe highlight brush. I just find the AliExpress brush slightly smoother on the skin because it's made with synthetic bristles. This one is natural goat hair, so it can come off slightly scratchy. It's a lot of glow today. Sometimes I'll go back over with blush just to drape over the highlight again. And everything becomes one. So the blush is coming from under the glow is coming from under the blush. You can't tell which is which, you can't see any lines. That's the best possible scenario. For the lips, I'm trying on something new from Nakeup Face as well. They have a few different liquid lip formulas. One's like a lip ink or tint. It's like a lip tattoo. 1 Day Water Volume Lip Ink. This is number 01 Poison Red. This one stains, so I think I'm going to be testing the regular matte liquid lipstick today. But I will swatch this on my hand for you. It's a very vibrant red. And it does leave a very bright pink stain on your skin when you remove it. I removed it almost immediately and it's still stained. So anyway, I will be testing the Velvet Scandal from Nakeup today. This is in the shade 01 Nude Scandal. And the packaging is just gorgeous, isn't it? It's metallic cap and frosted acrylic. So cute. When I swatched this the other day, it didn't stain. So this is the gorgeous bright pink here. It smells kind of fruity. Almost like apricots, creamy fruity. Texture's creamy, a bit like Stila's liquid lipsticks. Well, if it does set, it's doing it extremely slowly. It feels incredibly comfortable right now. More like a moussey lip cream than a matte liquid lipstick. You know what? I don't think this is going to set completely matte. It's just a cream lipstick. It's still coming off, which I don't mind. I love touching up. I'm just one of those weird people that loves touching up. I am loving this glow today. Anyway, I'm off to the office and I will check back in a few hours just to show you how everything is holding up. Okay, it is almost 7 in the evening now and I've been wearing this since about 9 in the morning. So you can see this side is the Cover King cushion and on this side it's the One Night cushion. So there's obviously a little bit more glow generally. Well, don't look here because I have some highlighter on, but around just the jaw and inner cheek area, this side has held up a little bit better. I did powder it lightly earlier in the morning because it's just way too hot here not to, but I didn't blot, I didn't really touch up except around my nostrils in mid-afternoon. But just around the nostril area where I'm the most oily, both of the cushions have started breaking down a little bit. Although I have to say that the Cover King cushion has lasted a lot better on the inner cheek area where my pores tend to be a bit more visible. And of course on the nostril side it's all patchy and starting to look like a bit of a mess. Okay, just turn down the light a little bit so maybe you can see the slight patchiness over on this side. Extreme close-up view. On this side, there's a little bit of breaking down as well, but not as much as the right side of my face, which is the more hydrating cushion, so that's not really surprising. These have worn as well as you can expect from hydrating cushions and BB creams. Well, they definitely have not oxidized, so they are the same shade as they were when I first applied them, which is a good thing. I'll say my nose looks like a mess, but everything else has held up pretty nicely. So I think if you have normal to slight combination skin, either of these cushions would work pretty well on you. But if you have oily skin, which I do around the nostrils, it might break down after a few hours. All in all though, I like the coverage. I think the finish was pretty nice. I had thought that the Cover King powder cushion would look a little bit too pink on my skin. At least it was when I swatched it on my hand yesterday night. But it's actually melded very nicely into my skin. It's pretty forgiving despite the coverage. It's got medium-ish high coverage. Both of these do. And under the eye, surprisingly, these have not really creased or faded too much. A little bit more on the Cover King powder side. So I think it's pretty much neck and neck for me for the two cushion formulas. I would say if pores are a thing for you, go with the Cover King powder cushion because that seems to have held up extremely well, even with sweating and everything. They both have a similar level of glow actually. I don't find this to be a lot more glowy than this, even though it's meant to be for combination oily skin. As for the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer, I like it for a few hours, but I do find that after a few hours it doesn't seem to hold up very well, particularly if you're sweating or you have oily skin, which is ironic since most of the time people who want a lot of coverage have oily skin. It's a good under eye concealer, but I'm not so sure that it's great for blemishes and around oily spots. It hasn't oxidized or darkened or changed shade in any way, which is a big plus for me, and I still like it, but it's not my favorite concealer out of all of them. Things like Makeup Forever Full Coverage and the Kat Von D Lock-It concealers tend to stay on better over oily areas. That's it for my quick review of these new products. Loving the lippy, I really like the cushions. I'm okay with the concealer. It's not a holy grail for me. It's not my absolute favorite. As always, if there's anything you'd like to see on my channel, please leave me a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next one.